Tabs Bricks, another episode of Building Gotham City in Lego, and we're back at the fire station today. So the last 9 weeks we've been working on Arkham Asylum. However, we need to get some parts in and make a couple of decisions on what we're going to be doing with that part of the mock. So we thought we'd come back to the fire station and try and get this one as close to finished as possible. Over the past few months we have had a lot of parts come in for doing like the flooring area in here, get the windows all done, and also this top floor there's some tiling that needs to be done in there. So we're going to be concentrating on this building initially, then after that we're going to turn our attention to Ace Chemicals and see what we can get done there. And we're going to be starting off with tiling the floor in here. So there's no tiles at all at the moment, so we need to get the road markings down inside, the yellow lines and all the bits and pieces like that. Do the pavement out here, put some bollards up along here as well. So there's a lot of details we need to get done, and obviously put all the glass in the windows. So let's get to it. I've managed to get some of the tiling started on the floor here, so we're going for a light bluish grey for the pavements, and the reason I've done that is because the roads are going to be in a dark bluish grey. So whereas like in the modular set of this it was dark bluish grey, I thought it would clash too much with the roads. However, I have done these sections here in the dark bluish grey because obviously they will be leading into the road, and we've gone for black inside where the fire engines will be kept. I am short of a couple of 1x1s in the yellow, and also at the very back I ran out, so I need to get some more for going in there as well. The 1x1 cylinders I only ordered 8 because that's how many were in the modular set. However, I forgot that I've made this a double garage, so I need 16, so I've just put one in the place where they need to go, and I'll just double those up in size further down the line. Now we've done that, we can start working on different parts of the interior, and also these sections here are supposed to be in the dark red as well. I think I've got all the parts in for those, so these just clip off, so I just pull that out. So we just need to replace the tiles there, the clips and a couple of the plates. So let's do that part next, and also put the garage doors in and see how that looks. And here we have the garage doors all in place. We've changed this over so it's now in the dark red. Really liking the look of it. Put the windows in here as well. Need to find out the white ones that go on the bottom, because this just flaps at the moment. It needs an extra little pin part on each end, and that stops that from moving. I know I've got two. I purchased them from the Pick-a-Brick online. You just need to find those out, and then we can put them in there. What I'm going to do now is work on these little sections here. The flag part I'm going to be leaving for the time being, as I don't know what sort of flag I want to put on there. And inside we've still got to do the tiling on the floor either side of the roads. And again, I'm not sure what colour we want to do with that. One thing we have done inside the fire station is, if you look down just there, we've put the hooks for the helmets to sit on. Now it's time to start on this floor here. So we're going to do the remainder of the tiling on the floor on the inside, put the windows in, got a couple of tiles put in, and also finished the front bit here. So not a great deal to do on this one, so let's get it done. And here is the front of the fire station. We put the details in on the front here as I was intended to do. Got most of the windows in, need to find a few more to go in there. But really happy with how it's coming on. We have tiled all of the floor in there, so that's pretty much done. Still need to do the roof section, and I can't wait to get this put into the city in a couple of weeks' time. Next up, I'm going to be working on Ace Chemicals. Now, with Ace Chemicals, I'm going to be changing the back of it so that when I've put the city out, there's going to be like a little swamp area out the back. So I might put some pipes coming out the back. So I'm not going to do too much on here. I'm just going to do the bits I know I'm not going to be changing. For example, the Ace Chemical part on there. And one other thing I do need to do is work out where the road's going in here as well, so I can do the paved area. So we'll start doing what we can on here and see how we get on. And there we have the two Ace Chemical signs. I'm sure that I ordered these ones here in lime green. However, can't seem to find them, so we'll have to have another look around for those. And I seem to have a lot more of these than I actually need. So whether or not, again, I decided to change the font all that time ago when I first made this and have just forgotten, who knows. But we'll sort it out. One thing we are going to be doing is working on this bit here. So at the moment we have 6 studs wide, and this is the walkway that's next to the warehouses. I'm going to shrink that to 4 studs, and then that's giving me an extra 2 studs down here. And what I want to do is remove some of these bricks and plates so it's all ready for the road to go in, and then we'll put a tile off the pavement and all of that part there and get that all ready. So we want it so a truck can come in here and get to those tanks. Let's work on that part first of all, and then once we've done that, we'll put all of the glass in the windows, put the door on, and also go inside and see if there's anything we can do with the vats that are in there. The pavements have all been tiled off, and we've put a hazard line just in front of the vats at the back here. And what we're going to do now is build the road sections in the dark bluish grey that are going to go in this section here. And there we have Ace Chemicals all in place. Still a lot of work to be done. I haven't done the tanks inside the vats. The idea I was going to use isn't going to work, so I need to slightly rethink that. Still need to put the doors on, and a lot of details need to be done on the roof section. Next up, we've got to do the road behind the warehouse here. So we're going to pull this base plate off and see if we do a little bit more work on the warehouse as well, and then we'll work our way forward onto these sections. So let's pull that one over and take it over to the table. And here we are at the back of the warehouse, and we've removed all of the Mills plate design on the base plate here, ready for the road. Not sure that I'm going to have enough of the dark bluish grey brick to cover this area. However, I am going to get it so it's all ready for that to be put in once we have got those bricks. This section just here, I'm thinking about from here to here, moving it back by one brick and then having it so this section of platform here looks like it's overhanging the bricks by that one stud. And up this side, we're going to do some steps. So we're going to have the pavement coming along and then steps going up to this higher level. So that's how you would get up to it. So let's make those amendments and see what it looks like. And here we have the back of the warehouse, and as you can see, we've put the indentation in the wall there, so this bit overhangs. I'm much happier with that. Put the steps going up on the side there, and this is 5 wide as opposed to 4, and that's purely how I've calculated it for the road. If it turns out I'm wrong on that, I can easily change that and make that 4 wide, but I'm just trying to make things easy for myself at this moment in time. So what we're going to do next is do the tiling around the edges and on the pavement. And we managed to find some more of the dark bluish grey bricks, so we managed to build the entire road section at the back of the warehouse here. Just put a couple of lines in for the time being, and I may change up a few of the details on the back here, like put some drains in, some cracks in the road again. The one thing is, when you do the cracks, you're using the slope pieces and you need some plates to go with it, which I'm very, very low on. So it's just easier for me to put it down like this to start with. The studs are obviously going this way to start with, and then on the end here, that section is separate again, and we put some snot bricks on there, and then that just clips that all into place nicely like that. So there it is. So let's move that over to the mock table and see what it looks like. And here we have the road section behind the warehouse and out the front of Ace Chemicals. And I'm thinking that it just doesn't look right. I don't think you would realistically come in here to go around this way. I think you're better off just coming in here. So I'm going to have it in the city eventually that there's a road going all the way along here, and then vehicles can come into either of those. And then I can also put a wall in across this section here to separate the two properly. So I'll be having something along here, a fence of some description, to stop people from getting into Ace Chemicals from there. So a little bit of an amendment to make there. Don't know why I didn't think of it first time around, but hey ho. Anyway, we'll get those amendments made, and once we've done so, we can then make a start on doing some work around the docks area at the front here. And there we have a pavement put in between the road and the car park at the back of the warehouse. These looks a lot better now, having those separate. And all we need to do is build a wall or a fence up between the two of them. Next up, we're going to turn our attention to the water at the front of the warehouse, put all of the plates up and put some dark green down in place of some of the black. We've removed all of the water from the base plate. They've come off in sections, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, we've started to replace some of the areas with the dark green wedge plates and normal plates, put black around it. So it's a very similar technique to what was done in the Ninjago sets. So once we've got the edges all the way around, they're done, we'll start moving these back into the gaps. So here, for example, I've left it so it's 8 studs wide, and then we'll just tile over all of it, and then we should have a nice water effect on there. And then we'll do the same with the other one where the pier is, but also put some dark green studs on the bottom of the wood to make it look like seaweed's gone up or moss or things like that. We might also change a couple of the dark bluish grey plates out for dark green as well, again just to make it look like there is some seaweed and moss coming up the walls there. And there is the water section all completed. You can just about make out the green on this bit here, but it's the only part that can really show up on the camera. Up close it does show really well. I'm really pleased with the result on that, so glad we went down that way. Obviously still got to do this one over here as well. Now I am considering changing this area here just slightly, and the reason being is I want to have both the cranes, one here and one on this section here. What I want to do is have this modular section have the cranes on it, whereas at the moment if I was to build the cranes they'd be on two separate ones there, so whenever I go to move the city I'm going to have to dismantle it. So I just need to work out whether or not to just change this layout here, or whether or not I can get away with making the cranes so it is just on those 4 studs and those 8 there. So we need to have a look at the design on that, have a good think about it, and then make the necessary changes if we decide to go down that route. Here is the revised dock area, and still not liking the look of it. As you can see, I've shrunk the middle section there to just 4 studs. The outside is up to 8 studs, and that was so that I could put a crane on either side. So the boat would actually be in each of these 2 sections. However, the length of it, unless it reversed in, the main cargo area is going to be out here and the cranes aren't going to be able to get to it anyway. So I'm considering changing it so the boats would actually dock longwise, so they're parallel with the docks, with the entrance there. So what I'm considering doing is extending this out, then putting the cranes along, and then we'd have the boat at the front there. So that's what we're considering doing at the moment. So we're having a little bit more to think about it, and then once we've decided, we'll carry on building it. Here is the latest version of the docks and getting happier with it. All I'm going to do next is move this section just down by probably about 5 or 6 studs, and also bring it out just a little bit more. At the moment it is going over 2 base plates, so I'm going to have it so it's all on that one there. So all I need to do is just remove that little section, extend the wall by 2 studs, and then I can start working on the cranes on this area here. So let's take that back to the table, make those amendments, and then we can start the cranes. So there is the crane all attached to the dock. So obviously you need to do it, still need to do a lot of details on the cab, and we need to do the mechanical about the hook part and all of the mechanics that go with that, and put the weight box on the back so it wouldn't topple over when it's picking up a heavy load. So I'm going to build the other one of these up over here. I've only got 3 of these, 2 in black and 1 in dark pale grey. So I'm going to put that over there, and then we'll move it back to the city table and see what it looks like. And there are the 2 cranes in front of the warehouse. Really pleased with the start of them. I think they're going to look really good once they're all finished. Only concern is they may look a little bit big compared with the warehouse. We sort of think of the size of the cab on there compared with the entrance to the warehouse. I just need to make sure I don't make it look too big. So I need to make sure I make it as compact as possible on there. It's really enjoyable getting back to doing this area, and over the next week or 2 I want to do as much work on this area as possible, ready for when we set the city up. It's going to be good getting all the fencing off and sort of cordoning off this area here, and working on the warehouse as well, because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done on that. As I mentioned earlier, I want to move this down here to allow a larger area for a boat, and I'm thinking I may very well lose this wooden jetty or just have it coming out here, just sort of like so it comes out at one point, so it's taking up less room, and then we could just have like a fisherman on the end there fishing. Not that there's going to be any fish in there due to the chemical spill that's coming out of Ace Chemicals once we get that part put in as well. Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you could share it with your family and friends, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for walking by. See you next time. Bye for now.